Thursday and Friday were shortish runs, taking it fairly easy, and then Saturday was flat out interval training.
On Saturday? Before a race?
Not before, as long as there was no race on a Sunday. If there's no race on a Sunday, then Saturday was like 400 metre intervals or something like that, you know, with a minute or two's rest.
Is that something you worked out yourself, or did you read, or did someone coach it to you?
I think I had a Bruce Teller training.
Well respected.
From what I can remember, it was a long time ago.
He was well respected. I've read some of the stuff that he wrote in the early days. It's still valid today.
It is, Or there was another session then, if it was too wet or the weather was too bad, Scandinavian session called fartlek, which was speed play. You'd run on the road or around the woods, and then with various speed, perhaps you'd run flat out to the next lamppost, and then just jog for a couple of 100 yards, and then perhaps you'd run fairly quickly for perhaps 2 or 3 minutes, and run for about 5 or 6 miles like that. Speed play.
Yeah, we're still doing that with some people now. With some groups who work on, depending on the run. Some on weekends we take people out and say it mixes it up a bit, you know.
If I saw someone anyway, I always use that for a fast session. It's very impressive when I was running past them.
I always find that, yes, you notice as people are running along the prom in Aberafan, is that as they approach people, they get faster. As they go past people, and they slow down again. It's interesting. It's the same thing happens on Tower Bridge in the London Marathon. I've got in the routine now where I try to stay the same pace going over Tower Bridge because it's a beautiful place to run, you know, and it's just crowded with more people than ever, and all the charities are there. So that it really lifts you, and as a result, you end up running more quickly. So I have a smile on my face because I know every year as I run across it, I try to stay the same pace because all these people come past me. And as soon as I get off the bridge, I go straight past them. Because they'll slow down. I'm getting they just run about 3/4 of a mile. The quickest they run in the entire race, and they really feel it at the other end. But it's that is one of my. That's interesting. That's one of my favourite places to run. Is Tower Bridge. I absolutely adore going over there. It's been fabulous numbers. Where can you got particular places you can remember running? That it could be along a beach somewhere, or inside a race, within races. Any particular places you can be going?
Well, I used to enjoy running up Bagnum Woods, you know. That's when I first started running, so that obviously strengthens you up. But you say about Tower Bridge, only once I did London. I was club secretary and applied for the London club entry, and that year it was unusual. Everybody got in, nobody wanted it. And I thought, I can't waste it. I'll run it. Not raining again. So I thought, my wife and the family went up, and I said, I'm going to run 3.5 hours. Right. So I said, I'll be at Tower Bridge at a certain time, and I'll be at the finish, after 3.5 hours at a certain time. So if you want to see me, be on Tower Bridge, I'd say, 11 o'clock. So I looked at my watch, and 11 o'clock, I'm on Tower Bridge, Dad! I got the finish, and no, 3:27. But there was no trip there, was there?
No.
You were there, I don't know if I ever started in the park.
Yeah.
And I thought, I could see the gates, and I thought,
that's right.
Look at that. I'm up near the front, which is good, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time. And I had a cannon going off, and I thought, we're not moving. I didn't realise you go through the gates, and then you turn left, and then we started another 100 metres down the road, and I thought, no.
The first time I did it, exactly the same thing. Because there was no experience, and you didn't know these days. You could see it from the television channel, but nobody knew how it was going to go and how it was going to work, and didn't know about drink stations, and I don't remember being told about. They must have had drink stations the first two. They must have had, but I can't remember them. And it was a different finish that year. It was on one of the bridges. It wasn't where it is in the rest. I forgot what it's called now. But bird cage walk was on, and but it's tremendously fabulous atmosphere because it was the first time people came. I don't think they really knew what they were supporting, but they just knew it was good. And lots of people were in fancy dress that first year. I think that's really sparked it off, and they've done fancy dress a lot.
That's the one my brother-in-law must have seen. And he said, and all the people dressed up and everything, and he said, well, larger people are larger than me, he said. we can do it.
I used to get really cross at the commentators who used to always call them fun runners, because and you think to yourself, well, some of them might well have been running for fun, but 26 miles is a little bit extreme.
It's not fun.
And doing it in fancy dress makes it even more challenging. So, they
the worse it is.
Yeah, I've done a couple of slow ones because I've been injured, and also because I've been in fancy dress, which has been quite challenging to run in. So I've done it from, I think I took one over 6 hours I did in a particular costume, just as Rupert Burr.
That's cruel, isn't it?
It was it's much easier to do it in half the speed, half the time. It was easier the year I did 307 than the year I did over 6 hours. Because you say it's a long time to be out on the road.
I think my favourite place to run is abroad. Whenever we go away on holidays, the first thing I pack, my trainers and running kit. And if you go to Spain, we've been in Spain, Greece and places like that, and I've always run in places like that, and you get up in the morning and the sun is shining. Great. You get up in our country and it's either frosty, windy, wet. It's a pleasure to run abroad.
I've enjoyed on my cruise holidays, and because of that you get to see lots of different places. So same as you, I always take my kids with me. So it means I've been able to run in the Arctic Circle, which is quite nice, up towards the North Cape in Norway, or around Norway, Caribbean, same in Mexico, lots of places all over Europe. Wherever you've gone, just get off the ship and just go out, and it needs to be 30-40 minutes, it's great, but you get a flavour, and you can see things that you don't always see as a tourist. Adapts on, and go and do a little bit of a run for 3 or 4 miles away from the heart of where the activity is, and it's really nice.
When you say run for 30-40 minutes, I get carried away when I do that, and I was in Lanzarote, and it was a bit of a wasteland, and you could see some fields in the distance. There was a mountain, and I said, Linda, I'm going to run up there now, and no mobile phones, nothing there. So I was running across this waste ground, and scrub and everything. It was quite pleasant, and then I came to the mountain, and I thought, I'll go up here now, and then I said, I had to scramble up in the end, and I got to the top, and in one mountain, it was an extinct volcano. So I was on the ridge on the top, then going round. So I thought, I can't go back the way I came. It's impossible to get down there. I'll have to, because the ridge was going slightly down, I'll go down there. So it was a V. So I got across the top. Then this is the lowest point. Now I'll have to go down, and it was all shale. So I thought I'll run down. You can't run on shale. I ended up sliding on my bum, and I said, "Oh God!" I was gone for hours. I got back, and I said, "Where have you been?" I said, "Been on that extinct volcano." I do tend to go exploring. That is the problem,
I should say that you've got a reputation for exploring, because I've been out with you in the past. I'll rephrase that. You've got a reputation for getting lost. Let's be frank out.
No, I said lost.
We've explored a couple of places together over the years, and it's a case of, I think perhaps we should have turned back there somewhere. But to be fair, I should also stress that you've also got an amazing knowledge of the locality, because it's like a history lesson going out with you.
I remember the time I took you along the Tennant Canal, you were really impressed.
Yes, I was.
Mario wasn't, because he was expecting to go 5 miles. 2 hours later.
But you always stopping at some really interesting places. Local history, your knowledge of local history is superb. And being able to marry that with the rowing that we've done together, that's been tremendous. I've enjoyed the runs we've done together. So,
well, that was a Sunday run, it wasn't... it was just a get together, like a social run more than,
That was always been the beauty. It was my favourite run with the club, was the Sunday. I like going to formal coaching sessions with the club, but Sunday mornings have always been a joy. Going out with people, exploring different places, conversation. You're out for a few hours, but it seems to go really quickly. and the habit of doing it every week was just it made long distance training so much easier than it ever would have been in other ways, because it is a chore to go out on your own, I find, unless you go to the right location and repeatedly knock out 20 miles in a training room. I don't enjoy doing it particularly on my own at all. I do it occasionally, but I much prefer being out with company of friends.
Well, when I was doing 20 miles, I was just against the clock, I was thinking, I can have a good time now, and I know I'm looking for a good time. You got certain points, I'd get to incline, the cenotaph incline was 5.5 miles or whatever it was anyway. But I'd get there and I'd get all right, I've done 30 seconds up. And I get resolved and I'm thinking, I'm a minute up now, I can't have a PB. And then die in the second half.
So what local race, because you mentioned there was a Port Talbot half marathon at one time, wasn't it? I did that must have been early 80s. I think I did the first, it only happened a couple of times, didn't it? I think it was the first one I did. And that was basically going along the front, around through Baglan, and we did the loop twice, if I recall correctly. It was roughly 6 hours.
I did it a couple of times, and we ran from the Lido down to Talbot, up onto the top road through Carmarthen, to Pontrhydyfen, and then back down to the beach. And the year I ran it, they turned the runners off. No, they forgot to turn the runners off. There was a 10k race as well, which went down to Margam, but the half marathon turned off in Talbot and went up to Pontrhydyfen. And they forgot to turn the half marathon runners off. There was some angry voices after that.
Same races. That reminds me. I mean, did you do any of the early Richard Burton races, the 10Ks?
I done. When I started doing 90 miles, I did the first one.
I did the first one as well. I remember. My wife was working with the wife of one of the organisers, and she said, "This is going to be this race. Would you be interested?"
You went to his house, I got the number.
Was that what we did?
Conglace Road.
But it was fascinating and it was quite a challenging course. In those days, It was a bit hilly than it is today. And but still a great race. And I think it's fabulous that really thrilled the club has got involved and as part of the organisers now to try
I've done it for years and years. I'm also got a dozen t-shirts in the house.
It's funny, because I stopped running after the first London Marathon, but I must have done little bits, because I'm sure I did a number of those in the years when I wasn't sort of training. I was just playing football and going out and doing the Richard Burton.
The thing is that there was races everywhere, every rugby club basically had a race in it.
We used to do the Talbot rugby club racing up to Goitre and back. And there was no bridge over the Frugbrook River then. We had to run through it. And they used to dam it. And so it was waist deep sometimes.
It was that.
Fun activities. I don't waist deep. I haven't done that, but I do remember doing the Prince of Wales run on New Year's Day. That's about 4 or 5 miles, isn't it? And we used to leave the Prince of Wales pub in Marlin and go along towards the rugby club, the golf club, and turn left along the lane. I remember this New Year's Day starting the race, and it had been raining, so there was puddles of water. And this is along the main road. So as I'm running along the main road, I'm trying to dodge these puddles of water. And as you can see the smart, I got to the lane, turned left, and the lane is completely flooded. So I spent all this time dodging these little things, and then go along the lane, and it was calf deep. It was, you're running through, heaven knows what you're running through, breaking your ankle, and holes in them and all the rest of it. But then because you're soaked with your feet, and it wasn't just a little puddle, it was a huge length of flood.
Everybody was trying to tiptoe through there. So I went through splashing everybody. You're going to get wet anyway.
I don't think you're the only one. That's a good one. What other crazy races can you remember? Any other particular ones?
Well, Ferry 5 was quite crazy, because you used to start in the Ferry Rugby Club and run down the main road.
That's right, yes.
And down to Baglan, Sunnycroft, back along the old road, and then back along the main road again, you know, thinking now,